Baseball players can take a page out of the climbing community's training. You know that medial elbow injuries are super common in baseball, especially pitchers. And I'm not going to sit here and say that any one thing is going to help make you injury risk-free, because that's impossible. But what we can do is give ourselves the best chance to lessen our chances of getting injuries with how we approach training. If we look at a pitcher, we look at the joint positions and the forces that they experience in pitching, we often see that the hand is in some funky shapes, and often the fingers are extended as they pull down on the ball. Tissue-wise, this changes the stress completely, because as our tissues get longer or in longer positions, they experience a higher amount of stress opposed to if they're shorter, like if you see like a tight fist. Again, pitching is extremely complex, and I'm not sitting here saying that there is one end-all be-all way to train, or that all your pulling motions should be in that bear paw position. But if we conceptually zoom out, we know that the hand and the forearm flexor specifically need to be strong with the fingers out extended more. So we should give some level of dose of strength training in those positions, so that when they go to baseball and they go to pull down the ball, we've trained those tissues in a similar length. And the weight room's role isn't to be the most sport specific exercises in the world, but if we just kind of put things through like conceptual lenses, it's like, all right, hand and wrist and forearm need to be strong with the fingers out a little more extended. So I'm going to try to give some level of dose, but it isn't going to be my sole focus for the entire training. When I train pitchers, we still hit all of our conventional like hand position training, where you just like wrap your hand around a bar, because the goal for those exercises is different. It's not directly targeted towards forearm flexors and whatnot. You still get awesome forearm strength from those types of exercises, like heavy rows, deadlifts, pull-ups, that kind of thing. What I've been really liking is that if I give the athlete 10-15 minutes to explore tension in these hand positions, take as much rest as you need, take as frequent rest breaks as you need, always keep like a couple seconds or a couple reps left in the tank whenever at any one go at some particular movement, then I love having them explore tension in these positions. The goal here is just to get some quality time under tension, especially like that long duration tension is going to be awesome for tendons. And frankly, it's just a nice way to break up the session. Whereas like if everything's super rigid, like X amount of sets, X amount of reps, this amount of time, then the session can just kind of get too tight when it comes to other movements and other blocks within that training session. Like I am going to be a lot more rigid because I want a certain amount of workload, but it's always nice to kind of throw some of these like longer time durations in and just, hey, you got 10-15 minutes, here are a couple movement options here, here's the parameters for how much fatigue to accumulate, good feelings to feel, and it gives the athlete like a sense of like creativity and exploration and play, and frankly they just have a lot more fun with it. They do things that they thought they couldn't have done. As long as they know the parameters of what we're trying to do, then I love just kind of letting them rock, and then I'll jump in there with them and kind of do some stuff and show them some examples. But it's something that I see that's missing in a lot of the baseball training community. Is just, it doesn't need to be, you don't need to go like full rabbit hole and do like all of my pulling motions with more of that like rock climber style training, but we can take a page, right? It's like you can take little bits and pieces and just add it to your program. You don't need to be like all into this or all into that. But I've been loving this. I've been getting a lot of good feedback from my athletes, and in my own training in particularly, I love it. My forearm and elbows feel awesome. When you first start doing this, just kind of like break it up, just have fun with it, get a little fatigue, challenge yourself within reason, and I think it's going to make a huge difference for a lot of people.